Now, welcome to another lightning response video. This time we got a question from Severitus who asked, Hey Thor, perhaps not all selfishness is created equal. You could argue that it is selfish of Luke to risk the mission to blow up the shield generator on Endor just to try and persuade his father, someone who at best would spend a life in prison if he switched sides and lived. Heck, it's arguably selfish to spend a bunch of time and effort to rescue Han when he's just one guy and the galaxy needs saving. But obviously, that kind of selfishness is not equal to the actions of the Sith and/or Imperial leadership. Meanwhile, the Separatist movement is only able to get momentum because the old Jedi Order, which selflessly approaches the world from a utilitarian view of good for the greatest amount of people, disregards slavery in the Outer Rim because they believe a conflict with the Hutts would cause more suffering overall. Perhaps some selfishness is good, and perhaps selflessness as an absolute has problems. And I 100% agree with you, and so too does George Lucas. I'll even play right now a clip I play from time to time. It's one of my favorites from him, and it sums up what balance in Star Wars is quite nicely.
Core of the Force. I mean, you got the dark side, the light side. One is selfless, one is selfish. And you want to keep them in balance. What happens when you go to the dark side is it goes out of balance. And
Basically, balance in Star Wars is simply not being overly or totally selfish. It's not never ever being selfish. We all have things we need and, yeah, things we want in life. No one is going to or should get angry at you for buying yourself something nice or for not always bending over backwards to help another person. As I see it, and this is something I made up from Star Wars, but when it comes to selfishness, there is a scale that starts at survival, where there are things you absolutely must have to just survive in the world. The basics like food, water, shelter, clothing, that sort of thing. Then there is comfort. We all want to do more than just barely make it through every single day. We want to be comfortable. We want to have things that make life easier and just nicer in general. Not to mention, we all want the potential to thrive in life, or it to not just be a struggle day in and day out to make it through. Then, after that, there's indulgences, where we want nice things or to do fun things from time to time, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with wanting to truly enjoy what life has to offer, especially in this modern world where there's tons of really cool stuff to do or to have. Then finally, there's the last level, which is extravagance, where we want it all and never or rarely ever think about what we can do or give to others. We want every single day to be filled with excitement or to always have the things we want immediately and don't think about how everything we do or take impacts other people around us or just the world in general, even. Where you become so selfish that, as Lucas said, when you go too far to that side, you fall to the dark side. And what I think begins to make someone a good person or not is not them always choosing the selfless path. You can't do that anyway. I'll get more into that in a second. Being a good person doesn't mean you always give and you help absolutely everybody you can all the time. It's, like Lucas said in that clip, it's finding the balance between the two, between selfless and selfish. It's treating yourself a bit and getting some nice things, sure, but not to the point where, again, you're never doing anything for everybody else or just taking everything you possibly can. It's the ability to look within yourself to see and recognize that selfish nature that resides within all of us, that is our most basic instinct, and to resist it from time to time, to not always just do whatever you want or take from others or take whatever you want, and to try and have as much as you possibly can. It's being a part of something else. I'm oversimplifying it, but in large part, civilization came about because we're willing to share and compromise with others from time to time. The world works because we can recognize there is a greater good beyond the self that we can serve, while, yes, also pursuing the things you want as well. It is, again, finding the balance. Besides, it is impossible to be totally 100% selfless all the time. There are, again, things we need simply to survive, and you could also argue that there isn't much of a point to life if we never ever pursued enjoyment of some kind, if all we ever did was sit around all day and trying to think of ways to help other people, or thinking of all the things wrong with the world that need fixing, which is it's a pretty long list. And I've argued before that apathy is needed for survival. Sometimes we have to not care, otherwise we'll just drive ourselves crazy worrying about literally everything or feeling bad for everybody else going through something, which is happening every moment of every day. In the couple minutes you've been watching this video, something tragic has happened to somebody, and actually many somebodies in the world. Anyway, not even Jedi are totally selfless. There are things they need to have to survive or to just function as Jedi and to serve the Force, to serve the greater good. They need to have things. They need their temples. They need their starships and lightsabers. They need food to eat and so on. They can even have friends and pursuits beyond just always being a Jedi. They're just not allowed to become attached to anything, which more or less means not possessing something that they care so much about that it may compromise their ability to be compassionate towards all others and to remain objective in virtually any situation, given that, as again George Lucas himself has described, Jedis are more like ambassadors and mediators than anything else. Not to mention here, I don't think always being selfless towards others is a good thing either. I've argued before that at the extreme end of both selflessness and selfishness is control. It's just that one, selfishness, does it a lot more overtly. It does it by force. It takes until you have nothing left for yourself, and then forces you to do whatever they want, the one with all the power has. Think Palpatine and the Empire, think the Sith. While, on the other hand, selflessness controls by potentially creating dependency, where you again are given so much or everything that you no longer have the motivation or ambition to pursue anything for yourself because you don't need to, which can, of course, be very, very damaging to your sense of self worth. I fully believe we all need a purpose of some kind in life, to be something more than an individual who just exists and consumes, who tries to go from one moment of pleasure to the next, even if that's what the primitive part of our brain wants us to do. We can't just pursue pleasure, we have to find joy, which comes from meaning, which I believe comes from having a purpose beyond just the self. Furthermore, if someone is giving everything to you or filling every need you have, you might also feel compelled, even if that isn't the intent of the person giving to you. They may have a genuine good intent, but you might feel compelled to never do anything that might jeopardize receiving what you've become accustomed to. You don't want to bite the hand that feeds you, and instead you behave and do what they ask of you or what you think they expect of you. You never get to become your own individual. And yes, don't get me wrong, there are certainly people who genuinely need a helping hand from time to time, or perhaps have some sort of disability that prevents them from taking care or fully taking care of themselves, and there is absolutely nothing wrong with helping them. Though, interestingly enough, in my experience dealing with people with disabilities of one kind or another, many of them are extremely motivated people, more so than those without disabilities. They simply don't want others to take care of them. This, in a way, then ties us right back into Star Wars, where the dark side is the quick and easy path, and the light side is the hard and disciplined one. Basically, when you do something for yourself, when you work hard for something and you finally get it or achieve it, it feels earned. It feels more rewarding than just having it handed to you for doing nothing or very little. It feels better to selfishly go out and get yourself something than to have someone selflessly give it to you. Thus, no, we can't say selfishness is always bad and selflessness is always good. We can only say that those who are too selfish, who never think beyond the self, are likely going to be more of a problem than those who are overly selfless. Or so Star Wars tells us. The Jedi do not cause imbalance, even though I've kind of made an argument here that they could, because they recognize the importance of purpose. They understand that all people have a destiny in the Star Wars galaxy, and they need to find it, and they must be free to find it on their own. Basically, the goal of the Jedi is to help only when and where they are needed to, and only how much they're needed. They're not there to solve every single little problem in the galaxy, to help every single person every way they possibly can. They seek to do just enough so that everybody has the ability to help themselves and to find their own place and purpose in the galaxy. Alright, well, I think that is going to be all I got for this time. Now it is your turn to take to the comments below and tell me what you think about this one. Tell me what you think about selflessness versus selfishness. Are they inherently good and bad, or is there a lot of nuance here? Or you can always ask a question for a future lightning response video. Just start your comment off with "Hey Thor," ask your question. I'll try to answer it in a future video. But whatever the case may be, leave those comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars, and until next time, thanks for watching.